knowing to play the innocent part, he continued. Knowing? I've never ever been called knowing before, but I continued to smile politely and nod as he spoke. But we'd really like you to do this film. So, what part did you have in mind? Ah, we have a cracking part for you, he beamed. She's called Sandra. I read back through the script on the way home. Sandra, it transpired, was the saucy sort who becomes David's first lay in the film. Well, I had never really done anything like that before. I may very well have looked knowing to Putnam, but most other casting directors had cast me as the girl next door. One of the principal requirements for the role, aside from my knowing look, was to be able to jive properly. Upon confirmation from my agent that I was to play Sandra, I was duly packed off to a dance centre in London to learn. This is where I first encountered David and Ringo, who had also been sent along. So I learnt to jive with the two boys, and believe me, there are much worse ways to spend the day. Ringo was an unprepossessing fellow with a booming Liverpudlian accent. He had, for want of a better word, a simple air, not showy at all, which was amazing considering how successful he'd been with the Beatles, and all the money and the adoration he had received. He was a legend. Yet here he was, learning to jive and chatting away like an old acquaintance. Sandra was a great part to play. She was on holiday with her best friend, played by Patty Love, at a holiday camp full of dreadful old-fashioned chalets, just like the original Butlins. I remember my costume was very alluring. Tight black trousers, a close-fitted black sweater to show off my assets, and some killer lashes, all topped off with a mighty 70s bouffant hairdo. Fabulous stuff. Of course, Sandra was a total tart, and the scene I was dreading in the film was the sex scene. Now, I know a lot of Who fans have watched it because I get asked about it a lot at conventions. In fact, I often get asked to say the infamous parting line, which I refuse, lest there be children in the audience. For those who haven't seen the film, after popping David's character's cherry, the mighty Sandra pulls a disgusted face and utters the immortal line, "Do you always come so quickly?" When we came to shoot the scene, there was a fairly small chalet set, and in it were cramped the lighting people, the sound people, the director. Quite daunting. People always ask what it's like to shoot sex scenes. I can tell you, it's the most non-sexual thing you can imagine. Claude Watling was incredibly clinical in directing it too. Can you put your right hand on her left knee and travel it up her thigh and under her skirt? It was like sex by numbers. Now, Debbie, you slide your left hand down his chest. As you can imagine, not the most erotic of scenarios. However, when we came to do the actual take, Watling gave the order to clear the set, leaving us with just director, one cameraman and one sound engineer. David and I were feeling extremely nervous, wanting to get it over and done with, and in the can. But Watling wasn't quite ready to start recording. "Do you two remember the film Don't Look Now?" he asked, leading the conversation. "With Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland." "Yes, that's the one," he continued, nodding. "Well, they had a wonderful sex scene in that." "Did they?" I asked, starting to get suspicious. "Yeah." And he stopped and looked at both of us. "Do you know why it worked so well?" David and I had no idea. "No, because they did it for real." I looked at him, then I looked at David, and